Welcome to this explainer. Think about the last time you went out to dinner. Did you scan a QR code to look at the menu? Well, today we're going to uncover a pretty fascinating truth about that whole modern dining experience. We're looking closely at how interactive menus actually aren't here to replace hospitality workers. No way. Instead, they're fundamentally designed to unleash your staff's true potential and, yes, massively boost sales along the way. Let's dive right in. 87%. That is a massive number. Researchers found that implementing interactive QR systems can lead to an 87% potential reduction in transactional service time. Seriously, we're talking about eliminating all that administrative drain, the running back and forth, the waiting, the manual order entry. This single metric completely rewrites the rules of the dining experience because it opens up entirely new possibilities for what restaurant staff can actually spend their time doing. So it begs a really critical question, and it's one we're going to answer today. As dining becomes heavily digital, are we destroying the warmth of human service? Or are we finally saving staff from administrative overload? By automating the friction of, logging orders and running credit cards, we might just be saving the hospitality industry from itself. Okay, part one, the automation paradox, or why pure automation fails. Look, trying to replace humans entirely is basically a recipe for disaster in an industry that is built on care and connection. Take Japan's Henna Hotel, for example. They famously tried to staff their property almost entirely with robots. And well, it backfired spectacularly. It created this uncanny valley of really cold service. The machines couldn't answer nuanced guest questions, and honestly, they broke down so frequently that human staff literally had to work overtime just to compensate for the failing technology. So the crucial pivot here is toward what experts call augmented hospitality. This is this beautiful synthesis where technology acts as a silent, invisible engine. It sits completely in the background, handling the logistics, which protects the human staff so they can actually focus on genuine emotional connection. Simply put, the machines do the counting so the humans can do the caring. Let's move right along to part two, the QR upsell engine and the digital architecture of appetite. QR menus aren't just digital PDFs. They are dynamic platforms built on some really powerful behavioral economics. We see visual desire sparked by high-definition photos creating immediate cravings. We see the power of defaults, subtly pre-selecting premium sizes for this totally effortless revenue lift. And we see real-time scarcity, driving much faster decisions through limited-time offers. And the absolute best part? It achieves all this upselling without forcing your staff to apply any sort of uncomfortable social pressure on the guest. The visual element alone is absolutely staggering. By simply replacing traditional text-only menus with professional high-resolution photos, restaurants are seeing a massive 30% increase in sales for those specific items. Think about it. When a guest actually sees a beautifully loaded burger dripping with truffle mayo right on their screen, upgrading suddenly feels like a completely natural choice, rather than a hard sell from a waiter. This perfectly solves the classic dessert problem. Usually, a server comes over at the end of a meal, asks if anyone wants dessert, and guests just reflexively say no. But imagine a beautifully timed, why not try, prompt popping up on their smartphone at the exact right moment. That little bit of visual temptation actually jumps your dessert conversion from a mere 10% to over 25%. Add in contextual cross-selling, where the menu suggests a specific wine the very second you select a steak. Add in personal recognition for returning guests, which actually drives a 10 to 18% lift in reorders. And finally, you significantly reduce the pain of payment through seamless mobile wallets. Tapping Apple Pay or Google Pay just feels psychologically lighter than asking a server to add it to a physical tab. The QR menu basically becomes an always-on salesperson, driving massive margins, while your human staff can focus entirely on being wonderful hosts. All right, part three. Eliminating service friction and focusing on digital velocity. Traditional dining is full of frustrating friction points, but QR tech instantly removes them. First, no more waiting for menus. You access it immediately the second you sit down. Second, direct-to-kitchen ordering completely removes the risk of a server mishearing a crucial allergy request. Third, sold-out items are hidden in real time, so you are never disappointed after you've set your heart on a dish. And fourth, guests pay precisely when they're ready, which entirely eliminates that agonizing wait for the check. The operational impact here is really night and day. We are talking about slicing the average transactional service time from nearly 22 minutes all the way down to just under 9 minutes. Now, this does not mean rushing the guest out the door. It just means all that dead time, waiting to order, waiting to pay, is completely erased. Operators get to turn tables faster, while diners actually get a much more relaxed, self-paced experience.
Moving to part 4, empowering the human touch, or the synthesis.
This brings us to the 80-20 rule of task allocation. It's essentially the golden rule for modern hospitality. If AI and QR tech can handle the 80% of repetitive, transactional busywork, your staff are finally free. They aren't being replaced, they are being unleashed. They're finally free to focus entirely on the 20% of the job that actually requires true empathy, judgment, and creativity. Instead of frantic manual labor, staff can finally stop juggling till work and start acting as true experience curators. They actually have the time to handle complex complaints with grace, genuinely celebrate an anniversary, and read subtle social cues, like, say, noticing a traveler is exhausted and offering a warm, well-timed gesture. Even when AI suggests local attractions, like we see in Marriott's Renai pilot, human staff vet and deliver those recommendations to ensure a completely authentic local flavor. Now, to ensure technology doesn't create that cold service we talked about earlier, smart operators use balancing metrics like tech-human ratio and an emotional engagement index. These basically ensure the machines remain a silent, helpful infrastructure and the humans remain the undisputed stars of the show. In premium hospitality, the technology should practically disappear right into the background. Ultimately, the fear of massive job replacement in this sector is simply a myth. 94% of operators report that technology has not eliminated positions. Instead, it's acting as a catalyst to completely reimagine work. It's shifting roles away from manual labor, empowering staff to become tech-enabled leaders who are focused on genuine connection, trust, and care. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to wrap up our explainer today. As the machines take over the transactional heavy lifting and interactive menus become your most reliable salespeople, what unique human magic will you bring to the table? The future of hospitality really isn't about outcomputing the machines. It's about out-humaning them. Thanks so much for joining me.